Imagine being locked in a tiny cage for your entire life, forced to perform for an audience, and denied the freedom to swim in the vast ocean. Would that be fair? Yet this is the reality for many animals at SeaWorld. According to PETA.org, over the last 50 years, more than 40 orcas have died at SeaWorld, many of them suffering from isolation, trauma, and physical harm. The death of the orca Tilikum, who spent more than 30 years in captivity before his death in 2017, is just one of the many tragic stories that highlight the cruelty of this institution. The question we must ask ourselves today is, can we, in good conscience, continue to support an industry that profits from the suffering of intelligent, sensible creatures? I'm here talking today to not only persuade you that SeaWorld should be shut down, but make you aware of what innocent animals are put through at SeaWorld's entertainment centers. As I mentioned earlier, the orca named Tilikum, who spent more than 30 years in captivity before dying in 2017. Tilikum was captured when he was 2 years old, not for any other reason than SeaWorld needing orcas for entertainment. According to www.nationalgeographic.com, Tilikum weighed 12,500 pounds and was 22.5 feet long. The orca habitats at SeaWorld are approximately 36 feet deep and 170 feet long, so basically a swimming pool for an orca. No other animals, no plants, only the occasional food and forcible training. In 2010, Tilikum, when one of his trainers, Dawn Branchew, was feeding him and rubbing his head, Tilikum grabbed Dawn and pulled her into the water. She drowned and had also been scalped. This was ruled as an accident, but could have been completely avoided if the orca had never been captured in the first place. Most of the animals at SeaWorld are there for the sole purpose of entertainment, not because they are hurt or sick, but because they are cool to look at. The animals become sick and hurt once they get there. Orcas almost never show signs of aggressions in the wild to humans. The reason we see so many deaths in SeaWorld is because of the malnourishment the animals are given in the aquariums. An orca can live up to 60 years, and when they are in captivity, they barely make it to 30 years. Keeping orcas in captivity not only limits their lifespan, but also limits the abilities they have. Orcas are incredibly smart creatures. Orcas display remarkable problem-solving abilities when hunting. They often work in coordinated groups called pods to catch prey. One famous example is their wave-washing technique, where they create waves to knock seals off ice, demonstrating collaboration and planning. Orcas have distinct dialects that vary between different pods. These vocalizations are learned and passed down from one generation to the next, suggesting a culture within pods. The difference in dialects are as significant as differences in human languages. Orcas have passed the mirror test, a classic experiment to measure self-awareness in animals. This test involves placing a mark on the animal in a spot where it cannot see without a mirror. If the animal uses the mirror to investigate or remove their mark, it indicates self-recognition. Imagine being able to do all of these amazing things and then being in a swimming pool all day by yourself. There is no way this cannot be considered abuse, or anyone in their right mind could support something like this. So, you may be asking yourself, what can I do to make a change? Well, here are a few ways you can make a difference. Educate yourself and others. Knowledge is the foundation of change. Understanding the harmful effects of captivity on marine life and the unethical practices at facilities like SeaWorld is essential. By learning about the physiological and physical harm caused to animals in captivity, such as orcas, dolphins, people can better advocate for their rights. Sharing this information with friends, family, and social networks raise awareness and sparks important conversations about animal rights. Boycott SeaWorld and similar facilities. One of the most direct ways to fight marine abuse is to stop supporting businesses that profit from the exploiting of marine life. By choosing not to visit SeaWorld or other facilities that keep animals in captivity, individuals send a clear message that such practices are not acceptable. This loss of revenue can impact their operations and lead to greater public pressure for change. And finally, support marine sanctuaries and rescue organizations. Instead of supporting zoos and aquariums that focus on entertainment, individuals can support marine sanctuaries that focus on rehabilitation, rescue, and release. Organizations like the Whale Sanctuary Project and other nonprofit marine rescue groups provide a more ethical alternative by offering a natural and safe environment for animals who can no longer survive in the wild due to injury or trauma. In conclusion, SeaWorld's treatment of orcas and other marine animals is both cruel and unnecessary. These animals are incredibly intelligent and have complex social lives in the wild, but in captivity they are confined to tiny tanks, which leads to stress, physical harm, and shortened lifespan. It is simply impossible for orcas to live the way they were meant to in a special place like SeaWorld. Instead of keeping animals in captivity for entertainment, we should focus on protecting them in the wild. We can learn about marine life through conservation efforts and educational programs, not by exploiting animals for profit. It's time to shut SeaWorld down and put an end to the captivity of these magnificent creatures. We have the power to make a change that respects both animal welfare and the natural world. Let's work toward a future where marine animals are free and protected, not imprisoned for our entertainment. Thank you.